Here's a question from a mummy who is asking about how can she help with her son's articulation issues at home. In particular, she mentioned for resources. She's asking for resources and whether activities such as blowing bubbles would help with speech. Answer to that would be it depends. Some children, okay, in fact, all children go through some typical errors when they are learning to talk. For example, when they are younger, they cannot say the S sound, so you might hear, oh, a sunny day might sound like it's a bunny day. So they replace the S sound with a B, and we call it phonological errors, and it's very common, normal, and expected for young children. At certain ages, these processes would fade off because they have learned to say the correct sound. And I talk about all these processes, what age is supposed to be eliminated on my webinar. The webinar is called What to Do with Unclear Speech, so you can find out more from the webinar. As for whether exercise like blowing bubbles will help, it depends on what the issue is. Phonological processes are not because of weak muscle. So some children are talking in an unclear way because they're learning. So there's some phonological processes that's happening. Other children talk in an unclear way because there's muscle weakness. So if they have muscle weakness, exercise such as blowing bubbles might help. But you need to know why you're doing the exercises and know clearly how these exercises work towards speech. You cannot just blow bubbles without transferring the skill over to speech. And that's a mistake that a lot of young therapists made because they thought, by exercising the mouth, it will help naturally, like the skills would carry over naturally, but that's not true. So you need to figure out why your son is speaking unclearly, and from there, you choose the correct strategies to address his underlying issues. So all these are mentioned in my 2-hour webinar for what to do with unclear speech. As for resources, I like this website called Mommy Speech Therapy, MOMMY, because she has a clear guide on how speech therapy is addressed, from the isolation stage to the word, to sentences, to story, to conversation. So speech therapists, we follow this framework when we address articulation issues. She also has a lot of PDF for different sounds and the different picture cards for the sounds, and which is really helpful. You just have to Google like Mommy Speech Therapy M sounds, and you will find it in Google easily. So you can use those picture cards to practice the sounds that your son have difficulty pronouncing. I hope this helped. So yeah, for much more details, go on to my webinar. I'm doing a 50% off for the month of August to celebrate my 12-year anniversary as a speech language therapist.